dolce. So, I'm ready to sail to Majuro, Marshall Islands from Honolulu. I've been here now over 3 months. So I've got like sort of a rental agreement going on with his boat. I'm completely responsible for it. He's signed over temporary command of the vessel to me. Yeah, I have a 2,000 mile, pretty much straight route, no land to the Marshall Islands. I'll come close to Johnston Atoll, but I'm supposed to stay away from that because it's not only a toxic waste dump, chemical warfare dump, but also it's been turned into a wildlife refuge. So you're not supposed to go near that unless you're in an emergency. Hopefully I won't have an emergency. Feeling pretty good about it. I'm most concerned about getting out of this harbor. I'm gonna give that a go tomorrow morning. I have some help, so I feel good about that. Having an extra hand on board will be nice, just in case something happens. Here we go. Think about the boat being upside down, which is a really good thing to think about when you're going out to sea because the ocean can throw you all over the place. Now, that glass jar would smash off the ceiling, so that's really not a good thing. These things right here, these might fall upside down, but it's only tortilla chips, so no big deal. Got some lemons over there. This right here, my emergency grab bag in case I have to leave the boat and hop in the life raft. I've got lots of food and supplies and radio and even a little solar charger for electronics. And also, as a last resort, I do have this thing, the EPIRB, emergency position indicating rescue beacon. Yeah, I flick that on and sends out an emergency signal. Very much last resort. Setting sail on Dolce. Got Reese here to help me out. He's gonna just help me get out of the harbor and then hop on the waves and boogie board back in. The wind is light, gusting a bit, not in the great direction. I'm gonna give it a go here pretty soon, I think, though. The Marshall Islands. Oh. Okay.
I think you're all right.
You guys are acting fast. I wasn't ready. Yeah, if you want to just tighten that around the, or pull it with you as you go for the bow. Yeah, I'll be fending her off here. There's no wind. Yeah, you can let go. All right, watch yourself. Just dragging. Dead headwind. All right, you want to raise the main? Thank you! Adios! Where's that wind?
That's a nice sail, dude.
Yeah, it's blowing over there on those flags.
There's no turning back.
All right, we got this jibe coming up.
Alright. You want me to get the jib?
Yeah, if you get the jib, I'll loosen it on this side.
Damn, bro. Hey, so it's called a.
Boat, though.
It'll be fine. Let's stay out of your way. I'd hug it on the left side, dude. Of the
Yeah.
channel,
Yeah, I'm going to.
just in case, you know. So it's called a routes of change.
That's a change. What are you doing? Stay with me now.
Yeah, I'll look you up online, man. I guess you won't be posting that video for that month and stuff.
You ready?
Sure, man.
Attacking. Pull her through. Watch your head. Watch your head.
Yeah.
Come on, pull her. Pull her. Keep pulling. Just pull her. There you go. You're good. Can you hold this mast out?
Yeah.
Boom.
It's not too late to turn back, Marcus.
Oh, it's way too late.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Not at all. There we go.
What is that? Is that Russian?
It's a Finnish name, but I'm Estonian. My dad was born in Estonia. Pukona Kona in Hawaiian means tough, brave, and strange.
Kona. Hey,
Love you! Take care!
quite an honor.
Just a bit stressed. You were the perfect person to have on board.
Oh, I'm glad. Glad I could help, dude. Honestly, I was a little worried about it. I felt fine with the pull across the channel, but I was a tight squeeze, you know, the wind was like...
The wind died like completely right as we were in that spot. Yeah, I think I got the wind from here, so we can hop in. Oh, all right. Yeah, if you wanna hop off, I think I'm good here.
Good luck,
Thank you.
for real, dude. I'll look you up online, actually.
Yeah, man. I hope I run into you again sometime.
Yeah. All right. Good luck with everything.
Cheers. Shoots. Later. I'm doing it. I am doing it. I can't believe it. I am sailing solo to the Marshall Islands. saying goodbye to Hawaii and Honolulu. Looks like I'm gonna have a pretty like straight downwind route as it is, so I'm gonna have to put out my whisker pole, set up the sails like that. I don't have the preventer line set up on the main right now. I'm feeling pretty good. It still feels a bit surreal by myself out in the big ocean, and the weather's looking pretty good, so should be fine. Wow, it's still day one here, making my way away from Oahu. A lot of adjustments to make on the boat and things to fix already. Ate a massive salad. I got the whisker pole out. You can see both sails there. Seeing the last of land here. I imagine when I wake up in the morning, land will be gone. It's a pretty decent swell right now, actually. Sure feeling the motion of the ocean. Woo! Just finished eating dinner, some guacamole and corn chips, and I went about to do some laundry here, or some dishes, and I looked down and look at what I saw here. It's a squid. It obviously flew into my boat. Poor little guy, it looks like he's sprayed his stuff all over the place. He's still breathing. Maybe I can save him. I'm gonna stop filming him actually. It is now day 3. It's about 5:30 in the morning. I just slept most of the night. It's pretty good. I still got up 3 or 4 times to make sure the boat wasn't sailing off in the wrong direction, and most likely a little boom from the boom that woke me, or from the whisker pole. Wind vane has been holding strong. I haven't actually had to change the course during my sleep, and I didn't actually have to do anything to the sails either. They are both reefed a little bit right now. The wind is not too strong, so I'm probably actually going to go right now and release those reefs. Yeah, the sun is going to start rising here soon, so I'm sort of glad that I woke up in time for that. It's been pretty smooth sailing downwind. Today I actually changed the boom vang. It wasn't a great setup. It was chafing a bit and it just wasn't super strong. I could see it breaking and potentially causing some serious damage, and so I acted on it before waiting for that to happen. Good move. Had to drill some new holes in the boat. Always never feels right to drill a hole in the boat, but in this case it worked well. Still feels a bit bizarre that I'm doing this. I had this thought today. I don't usually anticipate or have many expectations for what's coming next in my life. I have an idea of what I want to do and I work towards doing it, but outside of that, I'm sort of very much living in the moment, day to day. The moment I was out on the ocean actually sailing, it just felt surreal. It just felt like a dream. What? What am I doing? Am I actually sailing across the ocean? Yep, I am. All by my lonesome on this 30-foot boat from 1968. Built actually very close to where I was, just 14 years before me, in Whitby, Ontario. I was born in Toronto, Ontario. Actually, just like an hour and a half drive, or a 4-hour canoe, couple hours sail. I'm averaging right now about 115 miles a day, which is pretty awesome. I'll take that all day long. So I woke up pretty nervous because I heard some bangs on deck, but it's just the wind was getting light. And as I was out adjusting the sail, this guy landed on the solar panel right behind my head. This is the first time a bird has landed on the boat in over 28 days at sea. Seen birds all the time, but they never landed on the boat. This guy seems like he could use a rest. Hopefully he's around in the morning. still here in the morning. Hi. You're welcome to stay for as long as you want, buddy. Morning of day 4 on board Dolce. Heading towards Majuro. This is my view as I wake up, sleeping on the cabin floor. It's amazing how many noises there are in here. For some reason, there's this weird phenomenon where it seems like all of the noises are twice as loud when it's nighttime, in the dark. Even with earplugs in. All the little clangs and clamors, everything is just that much louder. Well, it was nice having the company of that bird on board for a while, but he did leave a fair amount of his shit all over the deck. Not just on the deck, but also on the solar panel. It's just a mess now. I didn't think about it, but he probably also scratched it a bit. Might not be the best thing to do in the future, is let a bird hang out on there for many hours. I'm gonna go and clean it now, I guess. Woke up pretty bad stomach this morning. Not sure if it was, I ate one of the first canned Thai curries that I made last night, and I have a feeling it's the beef lard that I used to cook it with, because there's so much of it on this boat. I think that might have been a bad idea. I don't know, we'll see. I might avoid eating it for the rest of this trip and try some when I'm back in harbor, just to be safe. Dolce's just cruising. Look at that. Beautiful. For dinner here we have red and green cabbage salad with shredded beets and shredded carrots. And then on top of that I'm going to add some fried onions, garlic, tomatoes, sunflower seeds, and cashews. And right now I'm just mixing in a lemon tahini dressing. It's got actually lemon and lime in it, tahini, olive oil, a little bit of maple syrup, and some nutritional yeast, and some pepper. Already tasted it. It tastes delicious. Just smashed my head off the ceiling here though. I don't know how I managed to do that. Right on that nasty edge. And I'm out in the middle of the ocean, sailing. Listen to Selectors Galore. Awesome. Bon appetit. On board SV Dolce, so at least 3, maybe 4 times a night I'm waking up a bit jostled because of a loud noise, and I climb up to see what's going on, and thankfully usually nothing is going on, and it's been pretty peaceful. There was one time where the wind was picking up stronger and I had to reef the sails, which, coming out of sleep, well, it wakes you up, that's for sure. I spotted a whale yesterday. It might have been a large dolphin. I'm not sure what it was. It was a mammal of some sort. And I imagine there's actually a lot more mammals and fish around that if it were calm I'd be able to see. But with these waves out here, it's just, you know, it's so hard to see anything. And that sort of reminds me of the fact that when you're with somebody out here and they go overboard, it's actually like, even if you have an eye on them, it can be extremely challenging to find them and pick them back up. Basically, when you're out in the open ocean, don't fall overboard. solo, if your other guy's sleeping, you're probably screwed. A couple more flying fish landing on deck. Made some more guacamole last night. That was pretty tasty. And this is a very rare moment where I'm sitting down and I don't actually have to hold on. It's actually fairly mellow right now, but I'm still balancing all the time. And I think that's where the exhausting part comes from. There's just no real rest from the balancing. It's more a matter of what happened. You do adjust to it. And so instead of balancing all the time, you more just sort of learn to go with the flow. I think there's still a certain degree of balancing happening all the time, but you don't fight it as much. Sort of move with the boat. Dig it? You're moving with the boat. Moving with the boat. I'm in the rock and rolling roller coaster heading downwind in the trades yet again. I feel there must be a way to do this better, but I'm not sure what it is. I've fiddled around, tried different arrangements, tried sailing at a different angle, and it seems like this is the best compromise. I just sort of snake back and forth doing sort of an S heading downwind. It's the most challenging when I wake up in the morning. Once I get into the rhythm of the day, I sort of forget about the whole snaking weird movements of the boat, and I just get about doing things like cooking and organizing new things and reading books. And always essential part of life on the boat is making sure all your food is happy, checking your fresh supplies daily to make sure there's no rot or fungus growing. Also got a different sky today, a little bit more not as blue. There's a bit more moisture in the air. You can see it looks like it might be raining over there. Speaking of going crazy, I just shared with some folks that so somebody's sailing the boat up there. I'm not sure who it is. Oh, Captain Horn, you there, Captain Horn? All right, good stuff. Not quite sure what the weather's doing right now. There's always a concern that it might start twisting a bit, get cyclonic on me, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we just got a system, a little low pressure system moving through. Probably create a little bit of interesting winds for me and some rain. So I'm looking forward to getting a good shower in, washing myself off really nicely, and maybe doing the same to my clothes, or at least some of my clothes. Some pretty decent sized swells coming through here right now. It's always a bit tricky to scale them from your own boat. It's a lot easier if there would be another boat out there. You'd be able to see just how big these waves are. I think I'm gonna get wet tonight. Just gonna throw that out there. And I think I'm gonna get some high winds too. Some squally conditions probably. So I'm just gonna get ready for that. Batten down the hatches, make sure I got everything where it needs to be. Woo! Here we go. I was right about that system coming through. It's been a tough 12 hours. I actually checked the forecast. It didn't show anything abnormal coming. Just similar wind conditions to what I had. And I woke to raindrops falling on my head and quickly got up to close the hatch and realized that I was going to need to go out on deck pretty fast because the wind was picking up and it was just howling out there, like full-on sideways rain. So I basically didn't even have time to put on clothes. I just went out buck naked and reefed the mainsail. And as I was reefing the mainsail, the jib that was still whisker pulled, rope across the bottom that can tighten the sail, it ripped out of the sail. I was sitting there in this, just sideways howling, gusting to 35 knots, I think it was. That's what I saw at that point, at least. And I started getting cold because I was naked in the rain in the night. And when the ocean splashed on me, like when I got a wave in my face, it was actually quite warm. But just the air and the rain was cold enough to make me shiver. And so I came inside, put on some merino wool and some rain gear, grabbed some snacks into my pocket and some water, and climbed back out there. And again, it was like just gnarly, crazy conditions, sideways rain, big waves, and I was getting pushed right towards Johnson Atoll. So I had to change course, change my sail plan up. I eventually took down the whisker pole, which was not easy to do in these conditions, but I did. I got a little bit of a mellow break in the weather right now, so I'm probably going to cook up some food, make some tea, have some oats, and hopefully I can make that happen. You can imagine it's sometimes not so easy to sleep on Dolce. Attempting to have a midday nap. Attempt is the key word. Been pretty scary past 15, 16 hours. I just experienced probably the heaviest rain I've ever experienced in my life. Thankfully I wasn't out in it. You can hear a bit of it come now. This is probably about 25% of what it was falling at a little bit earlier. Yeah, it's coming down hard out there. Thankfully, Cap Horn is steering the boat pretty well for me. That's the wind vane. Have a peek at her. Yeah, she seems to be doing pretty good. Oh, look at that. There's even some bright sky over there. Thankful to have Dolce to get me across this ocean. This boat is actually handling really well. I haven't had too many issues with her. But yeah, I don't know, I had a pretty good sleep last night. I got up at one point and I swear there was ash falling out of the sky. I think I got some in my eye, which is what made me realize there was actually something and not just like the fogginess of my eyes or the spray of water coming through the sky. It was actually because it felt dry and it actually got me on my eye. And then I saw some fall and I felt it in my mouth and stuff. Yeah, if it wasn't ash, I don't know what it might be. Some pollinating tree of some sort. Actually, that's very much what it could have been. Some seed of some tree that got sucked up into the atmosphere and flew its way over here. I'll go with that. It did actually feel more like a tree seed of some sort. Just like a, one of those feathery things. I don't know, maybe it was cottonwood or something. Oh, just saw a flying fish jump right out the window there. And the other day I saw two dolphins from a distance. It was this pretty amazing sort of sensation where I was looking and I had a thought that there was something with me, and that there's probably a lot more animals around me than I ever know because the waves have been so rough. And like at that moment, I looked, and I probably looked about 500 meters away, and saw two dolphins. And of course, I yelled at them. I was like, "Hey, come over, say hello!" And then, nothing happened. I mean, it's loud when a wave hits this boat. It's like, boom, boom, and like the whole boat just like, I don't know, moves like a whole meter as you get hit. I woke up to boom. I climbed up. I've managed to figure a way to just like hop over the boards without even pulling them up. So I did that, climbed out, and realized that the wind vane was sort of just doing this, and the rudder wasn't reacting to the vane, which means that the steering rudder that comes down off the vane has come loose. So what I have to do is I basically have to climb to the back stern of the boat, hang half my body off the boat, and click it back in place. 1,150 miles to go. Similar conditions with this downwind, 20 to 25 knots. So not quite directly on a run straight downwind, it was a little bit at an angle. And I ended up starting to get like a lot of waves crashing over the boat, which just doesn't make me sleep well. It's that sort of the wind had changed, but the waves hadn't changed direction, so that was creating this sloppy conditions for me, although it's super sloppy all the time. And I didn't want to put up the whisker pole in the middle of the night in the pretty like sort of squally conditions, so I just went straight with the main, and it actually worked pretty well. I actually didn't have to touch it. I went to sleep 3. I was out cold, didn't wake up even for the sunrise, unfortunately. Just had some oats. Woo! And see how much, I guess you guys can't probably see too much how much of the boat. Woo! There's a lot of water that came in there. I'd say I'm pretty lucky that not more water came inside here. You know, like some people might think you want to keep this hatch closed at all times, but if I did that, this place would just be just as wet with all my sweat. Nice landing. Nice landing, buddy. Hi. You're beautiful. You want some fresh water? I can get you some water. Yeah, want water? Let me get you some water, okay? You can stick around. Alright then, day 11. This morning I woke up and the sails were flogging. There was basically almost zero wind, about 3 knots of wind. So I climbed out on deck, I furled in the jib, and I was about to take down the main when it just started dumping like crazy. And then the wind picked up, and that actually made the motion of the boat quite more smooth. And then it picked up quite strong, actually, up to like 20 knots, which was exciting for a bit there, for sure. Like, that was how I woke up in the morning and saw the sun sort of rise out of the sky. I mean, it was cloudy, so I just saw it get lighter. I lost the wind there for a bit. Haven't been in the water yet since I started. I sort of feel like I've been missing something down there. I'm pretty stoked to finally get in there. Maybe there's some scrubbing that needs to be done, actually, so should get some tools out here quickly. All right, go for a little swim. Maybe there's some life under there. Maybe I've got a little fishy with me or something. Do this. That was not nearly as pleasant as I had hoped. The boat was indeed making forward progress. I thought it would be a little bit, but it was more than I was expecting. I was sort of getting dragged when I held onto the boat. Boat looks good under there, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. All is good. I'm going to lift the sails because there's a bit of a breeze now. Get moving. Get myself to the Marshall Islands. Beautiful evening here on Dolce. Got some spaghetti cooking. Some tomato basil pasta sauce. Probably the calmest night so far of the journey. It is the night of the 11th day. Day number 14? Not really sure. I just sat for a few hours with the sails down as there's very light winds, under 5 knots. Couldn't go anywhere, just flapping the sails around in the winds. Pretty annoying. Finally got a little breeze back just a second ago. Pretty nice. All by myself out here in this big blue ocean. Oh, that's not entirely true actually. A bird did just fly by. Usually see a few birds a day. Occasional dolphin or whale. Not too many so far though. Flying fish I see flying through the air all the time. Usually about once a day I find one dead on the deck. One that didn't quite see where it was flying. Sailing downwind. Got about maybe 12 to 15 knots of wind. It's probably the ideal conditions. A little bit light on the wind maybe. I might actually bring in that jib a bit to stop it from flagging a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now actually. Just like that. Seems to have worked. It's always nice when that stuff works. Alright, we got a system coming through here. I don't know if I'd call it a squall, more just a little low pressure rain cloud. Might create some high winds, I don't know. I've got the sails reefed just in case. Should be fun. I could use a shower. It's starting to really stink here, so it's sort of good timing. Here comes the rain again. Woo! Oh, plastic bottle, no good. I've been in these sort of really mellow winds now for, I'd say, 3 days. I'm about a little under 400 miles from Majuro, and I have a feeling that this is going to sort of be the weather pattern that is going to take me there. Not ideal, but not bad either. Another day at sea is no big deal. Quite happy about that. Who knows, it could be another week if the wind completely dies. I'm definitely prepared and ready for that. But just in case I go missing and nobody ever hears from me again, I've got a message in a bottle. What the message is, you may never know what that message is, but you will know that there's a squid in there for the lucky fisherman who finds this. Perhaps a little fisher boy in need of a lure. I hope somebody finds it. I don't like throwing stuff into the ocean that just sits there. It's definitely a contemplation I had whether I want to throw another piece of little plastic into the ocean. But I have a feeling that the glass will hold up and somebody will find it, hopefully. Yeah, message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. Do, 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 do. To the person who finds the message in the bottle, I wish you all the best in the world. May it bring you many fish. Quite a bit of no wind. Lots of no wind today. But got some nice wind now. I'm cruising straight downwind to the Marshall Islands. Feeling pretty happy, feeling pretty good. And I felt the need to express that happiness and share it with you because life on the ocean is pretty good. Life on this planet is pretty good. Day number 16. How does that saying go? Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. Well, I don't think I need the color of the sky to tell me that looks like there's a system of some sort moving my way. Doesn't look too gnarly, just probably gonna dump some rain on me. Beautiful. For the first time in the whole trip, 16 days, I'm actually close hauled, heading right into the wind and heading straight into that. It's tough to say. I can't really see the other side of it, but I have a feeling it's just gonna be a brief shower. At least that's what I'm hoping. Winds are probably gonna go a bit wonky in here, change directions, flap around. It should get a bit exciting. We'll see. It's my toilet out here. That's it. That's how exciting this thing is. To be becalmed out on the ocean. This is actually a very nice version of being becalmed because waves aren't too choppy. You still get a bit of rocking like this. With a slight breeze coming through. So it's sort of swirling around and disappearing every once in a while, so I haven't done anything yet. We'll see. What I did do is make this tasty salad. Yum yum. Just had about 8 to 10 hours recently of no wind, so it's just flopping around out here, but moving now, feels pretty good. Got another 300 miles or so to go to the Marshall Islands. I know this looks like a bit of a mess, but it's actually fairly good organized. Just my bike makes it look really messy there. Got my little drogue there. Well, it's actually a big drogue, big heavy thing. Gets in the way. Life is pretty good though. I'm adapting to the ocean, as I always do tend to do. Still have way too much food and plenty of water. I thought you might be interested in my kitchen here. Pretty fancy. Look at that. Nice pump action sink. That stove's not the best. This little thing here though is pretty good. This gimbaling stove. Rocking the boat, rocking the boat. I'm learning Mandarin. I'm reading a fair amount, practicing my knots and such. Yo, ni yo, shishi ni kola, bo kochi, bo xian xian shi zhou. Day 19 on board Dolce. Actually moving now. This is a good sign. It's been very slow going for the past 5 days. One of the things that I consistently happens to me when I'm out on the ocean is I just realize how grateful I am for everybody in my life. The past week's been really slow, and I have to admit that looking up at the skies and seeing sort of different skies than I'm used to, I've been definitely concerned about tropical storms, cyclones forming around where I am. I've heard that when the trade winds get disrupted, that's what can create a cyclone. But anyways, I've just been looking up at the sky and seeing really bizarre, different cloud structures than what I'm used to out on the Pacific Ocean, at least. Seen a lot of really big, dark cumulonimbus, which I don't think of as forming a cyclone or a tropical storm, but sometimes I just picture some of these bigger ones spinning around. That's what gets me a bit nervous. I'm now within 169 miles. Majuro's over there towards the sunset. Probably made about 10 miles towards it today. Pretty slow going. Wind's just blowing straight from there right now. See, the telltales are working. That's a good sign. On the Buck and Bronco now. Forecast called for about 11, 12 knots of wind, but I'm getting more, probably like 16, 17. Which feels more like 20 apparent wind because I'm heading pretty much straight into it. It's all good. Whoa. Oh. Got my little nook here. Ain't that comfy? It's a bit violent at times. I must admit, I'm really impressed with those wind vane. It takes a lot of strain. Sometimes the tiller and the rudder are just jerking back and forth. Oh. Woo. God damn. Might have to put in another reef here. Or 30 birds there. You know land is near when you see so many birds. It's probably hard for you to see through the screen, but there's actually more like hundreds of birds out there. Land is near. Yes! But that's not the land we're going to. We're going to Majuro. That's it. That's the best I could come up with. Arno Atoll. Spotted. Not much. Pretty low-lying little island around an inner lagoon. Probably some coconut trees on the islands there. Not much going on. Anyhow, I'm going another probably 30 miles past Arno Atoll to Majuro Atoll, which is where I need to clear customs and immigration. But unfortunately, the thing is, it's Friday night, and I read that if you arrive on the weekend outside of business hours, you have to pay some pretty crazy overtime costs, like up to $250. I guess I might just not clear customs until Monday, and so just have to stay on the boat. So I'm gonna wait, probably slow the boat down a bit so that I arrive in the wee hours of the morning, and then enter into the lagoon, the calmer waters. All's well that ends well, or whatever that means. Do I look like I'm going crazy? Because I feel like I'm going crazy. They're crazy. Crazy. Ah. The wind is indeed coming directly from the direction that I need to head through a narrow passage, so this could be tricky. That's it right there, pretty much. There's a boat there. Motorboat, looks like it's hanging around. Hopefully it's not the military or something like that. I have this bad feeling that somebody who's really nervous for me called them and told them to come and help me get in. That would be painful if that was the case. I don't think that is the case though. I think they're probably just heading out fishing. Down that way is the capital, which is where I'll be heading towards. The Marshall Islands. Apparently the 4th least visited country on the planet. Here we go. Splitting the gap into the Majuro Atoll. Got to tack 3 or 4 times. And I've seen my first people, some Chinese fishing boats. Well, this is a very, very bizarre feeling right here. Flat water. And it's so calm and smooth. Still a little bit of wind in here, but the waves are blocked from the islands that go right around the atoll. So I can just walk around the boat very comfortably. Some really sweet little places on these islands here. I'm really curious who lives on them. They have their own private little surf breaks. And I'm heading towards industrial land. It looks like there's actually quite a few ships in the harbor. Majuro is busier than I imagined. Might have to do some tricky maneuvering in here. I'm about 2.84 nautical miles from where I need to moor. But for the past few hours I have not been able to get there because there's no wind. Taking whatever short gust of wind I can get to make it a little bit closer. I have to end up putting my anchor up in the dark. It's a bit deep where I am right now to throw an anchor down. I could maybe get away with it. It's 150 feet. Way she goes, way she goes. 21 days to Majuro. Sailed right in here. Had some people help me actually. Came out in their dinghy and took my rope and put it through the mooring there. Made sure they did not tow me. There is a whole bunch of really gnarly looking Chinese, I'm guessing tuna fishing boats in here. That's what all those boats are out there.